Welcome to my space. Let's take 3 deep breaths together. Gather your energy back from wherever you've been. And on the exhale, slow yourself down, spiral into your deep belly, your womb space, or your seat. Here we go. Deep breath in. Feel free to wiggle, yawn, or make some noise on that exhale. Deep breath in. Ooh, if you make some noise, feel the sound inside of your body calling you home. Deep breath in. Mm, I am here. Welcome to my space. One of the things that I love doing with my clients is to help people embody using nature as support system because this is nature. And if we are in tune with nature's rhythms, the nature of our body will come alive and we will learn to embody, to live in our body, to let our soul be expressed through our body with a lot more ease and flow. As we honor the cycles, as we honor the rhythms of life, death, and rebirth, and how the creative cycle moves through us and through our soul work here, it becomes more and more fun to be on the spiral, the cycling. There we go, cycling life. Um, and one of the ways that I do that is to help people learn to live from the ground up rather than from the head only. And so many of us in our culture are caught in our thinking, are caught in our brain, are caught in the above areas of our body. And if you do drop in, it's usually only to about here. And it's only in probably your sexual experiences, and maybe not even then, that you drop down into that low belly, the pelvic floor, the pelvic bowl, or your roots, unless you have practices that have taught you how to descend into the spaces and allow the energy to move through the whole of your being. So one of the practices that I'm going to lead you in right now, that I take lots of my newer clients especially, but often I'll revisit this with clients I've been working with for a long time as well, is so here we go. We're just going to do it. I want you to feel yourself on your seat. If you're sitting, go ahead and kind of rock back and forth on your sits bones, the bones that touch the chair. And get a sense of what that feels like. Does one side feel tighter than the other? You're just going to land there for a minute. If your feet are on the floor, tap your toes gently. Feel your connection to the earth. And then I want you to imagine, we're going to take a couple of breaths together on the inhale. You're going to inhale and bring your consciousness all the way down to your feet. Drop all the way down to your feet and imagine that you are a tree. So here we go. Inhale. On the exhale, drop all the way down to your feet, tapping your toes on the floor and imagining roots growing gently into the earth. Can you feel the aliveness in the bottom of your feet? Can you feel the energy starting to wake up or move? If you've never practiced this before, the more you do this, the more you will start to notice energy, the aliveness of your body in these different areas. If you practice this a lot, you might already have felt it the second that you brought your attention down into your feet, allowing your roots, imagining your roots to go deep. So on this next inhale, I'm going to invite you to breathe up nourishment, nutrients, or water from your roots that went into Mama Earth. Imagine drawing up with that next breath good nourishing earth energy into your pelvic bowl. So here we go, deep breath in, gathering from the roots up, pulling with your breath. into your pelvic bowl and bringing your awareness to your sits bones, to your tailbone, to your whole pelvic bowl, to your hips, and just land there for a minute. What do you notice in your creative life force center? Many of us have been taught to fear the sensations that we notice in our pelvic bowl because often the first interpretation of sensation there is sexual or connected to defecating or urinating. So we don't put a lot of conscious, good, intentional knowing or noticing into our pelvic bowl because we are scared of what we might feel. So I'm going to invite you to just hang out with your pelvic bowl for a minute, your whole sacral region, everything in between your hips. In fact, I'm going to show you what this pelvic bowl looks like. Here is a pelvic bowl model. Here is your sacrum. This is your sacrum. Your SI joints are right here. Your spine comes in and connects into the sacrum right there. Your tailbone is all the way tucked underneath this fascial connection right here. And here is the anatomy of your body. And this really truly is a pelvic bowl. So the bones here, I could give you all the real names for this, but it doesn't matter. And then in the front, it looks like a butterfly. It's a really beautiful structure, actually, holding your bladder, if you are a womb bearer, holds your womb, your bladder, your rectum, and all kinds of muscles connecting in here. So it's a gorgeous center of our bodies. It is our base. So your hips, hip sockets right here, leg bones connect in. And this is what it looks like. So when I'm asking you to drop into your pelvic bowl, into your womb space, you can have a visual here of what that looks like and means. And what we're asking is that all these muscles in here around the rectum and the vaginal canal and the urethra, we're asking you to see if you can bring some awareness, and the tailbone right here is especially important. Can you bring some awareness to this area of your body? So tighten it first, like you're a dog tucking your tail and running, and then loosen and relax into this pelvic bowl. And what is that like for you? What do you notice? What do you feel? What do you hate feeling? What maybe it's numb for you? That's okay. Numb is a sensation. And so just noticing what's happening without putting stories around what that means, whether it's a good sensation or a bad sensation or a shameful sensation or an embarrassing sensation, or, we've had so many stories connected to our pelvic bowl, and that impacts the way that we land in our bodies, in our truth, in our soul truth, in our creative expression, in our true soulful expression, and in our ability to ground into earth and feel that incredible support in the base of our being, the root and the womb sacral chakra. So that was a lot. I did not mean to go into that. But here we go. Let's feel your feet again. Notice your feet connected to the floor. Tap your toes. You have roots. Root your roots down in. On the next inhale, you're going to gather that energy, nourishing earth energy up, and see if you can bring it into your pelvic bowl and relax into your pelvic bowl just a little bit. You can rock back and forth on your sits bones. You can squeeze your tailbone and then relax your tailbone. See how much you can relax it. Noticing the sensations. Just hang out in your pelvic bowl for a second. Breathe in. On the exhales, relaxing your pelvic bowl as much as you can. Then noticing, I am here. I am alive. You might feel the front of your belly start to soften. That low belly might soften if you just hang out for a minute. Most of us are taught, maybe subconsciously, but certainly culturally, to hold in our tummies, to look skinnier, flatter tummies. Right now, I'm inviting you to let that tension that you constantly hold in your belly to relax. What happens? Mm. So, this practice, if you've never practiced feeling into your pelvic bowl before or living from your root or your sacral chakras, um, that might be enough for you. You might want to stop right there and just jot down, if you like to write things down, what did I notice? What did I become aware of? If you have a therapist and some things came up for you, that would be a good information to take to them. Or if you have a body, mind, spirit practitioner or a body worker that is safe for you, you could bring it up there as well. You could work to just soften into that pelvic bowl and allow yourself to just hold whatever you notice with a lot of gentleness and curiosity. So those two words, holding things with gentleness and curiosity, can really help open and release and nourish you in your processes of becoming more embodied. If you've practiced this a lot, the rest of the meditation is to keep breathing nourishing earth energy up through your body that direction. So from the earth, you really drop into the earth, feel your roots go down, breathe up in. You can even gently squeeze that pelvic bowl region up and then relax it. You're pulling up that nourishing earth energy into your cauldron that kind of looks like a cauldron. Um, and then you can allow yourself to imagine, what would that feel like if I brought that nourishing earth energy up into my belly, into my solar plexus? Can I relax it? We hold a lot of natural tension right here where our ribs meet our belly. There's a lot of fascial connection. There's really heavy organs, the liver and gallbladder, stomach, spleen, pancreas are right in that area. And diaphragm is this big muscle that's right over top all of that. So it's a lot for the body just physiologically to relax, but then it's also a space where we hold tons and tons of tension, because of the way that we hold our breath or our breathing patterns connected to the fight, flight, freeze response. So just being super gentle as you come up into the solar plexus area, relaxing your belly, and then can you come into the heart center and notice and bring relaxation into this beautiful space of the body. The rib cage is protecting you. It is holding safety, lots of tension around the rib cage because it's protecting your lungs, your breath, and your heartbeat, your passion, right? And your emotional connection into the world. So that's there. And then coming from your roots, feeling all that support of the body and bringing your truth, your voice up through is going to be more powerful than if we're just trying to bring a thought down through into the world, right? So if you ever listen to somebody who's really in their body, really confident in their deeper spaces of who they are, they're going to have this really strong sense of you're feeling their message all the way through, all the way from the roots up, and they're using their entire body to support what they're here to say. Versus somebody who's just talking from brain, it's a feeling of up here, and I'm telling you the truth, and I'm telling you facts. And part of the reason I couldn't name Part of the reason I couldn't name the bones and the muscle connections here when I brought this in is because I was down into my deep embodied space, which is far more mystical for me. And when I'm there, it's hard for me to pop really quick up into my brain, um, details unless I've really prepared this information and dropped it down in here. But when I'm in a flow state and I'm working and bringing my truth forward, some of those details don't land or want to come out unless I pop all the way back up in here and they give you some logical details for you to grab onto. But that's just how I work. Some people can pull those kinds of details from their deepest truth um, real easily. It's just not how I work. So, knowing yourself, bringing your truth up through your voice, through your whole body will give you in the world this sense of embodied truth. This person is bringing their embodied truth forward, and it's received much differently in the world than just knowing things from your brain and bringing them through this way. So for women especially, or women identifying clients, it's often really important for us to learn to drop down into these deeper spaces and allow your intuitive wisdom, your flowing wisdom, your creative wisdom to come through an embodied expression rather than just feeling like you're trying to meet this masculine paradigm of knowledge only instead of knowing it from an embodied sense. So now I'm just kind of rambling. Thank you for being here. Um, let's do one more quick meditation together. See what it's like for you to bring your awareness up. Oh, and then bringing in the third eye or the brain, once you're coming from the bottom up, is that it gives the brain a different task when you're really learning to be embodied with your truth and your wisdom. Because now the brain is trained or being trained to notice what's true in my roots, what's true in my creative life force center, what's true in my belly and my solar plexus, what's true in my heart center, what's true to come forward through this voice. And yes, we're still going to use the brain in the way that we're trained to do it in the Western world, but it will not feel like it's overriding the information, all of this glorious wisdom of your body and your embodied sense of being a human with this divine essence in the center and bringing this expression, this unique expression of you forward in the world. The brain won't hijack you if you practice coming to the world in this way. So let's do it one more time and then we'll end this time together. All right, slowing down. Ooh, drop back into your body. Tap your feet on the ground. Connect your feet in. Bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet. And on this exhale, you're inviting your roots to drop down into the earth a little bit farther, gently. And on this inhale, you're going to breathe up into your pelvic bowl. Noticing what is alive for you in your pelvic bowl. On this next inhale, breathing up into the belly, into the solar plexus. Can you relax it just a little bit more? And at any point, if you feel like you can't move past a section of your body, no problem. Just hang out with what feels comfortable. Maybe you're still at the roots, and that's great. On this next inhale, you're going to bring your awareness. See if you can flow your energy up into the heart center. Letting your heart see that it's connected to a really strong base. On this next inhale, imagine bringing all that glorious truth up through your voice into the world. Notice if your throat stays open for that thought or if it clenches up. It's all just good information. Be really gentle with yourself. And on this next inhale, you're breathing all of that juicy, glorious energy up into the brain, bathing your brain with a nourishing earth energy. Out to opening to the sunlight, imagining a crown sitting on your head, inviting the brain to get to know the wisdom of your whole connected, intelligent body that has so much aliveness and wisdom, so much support for you. If you start opening your awareness to what is my body saying, how is my body connecting to the earth? How is my body connecting to the natural rhythms? What parts of me really contract when I think of softening or opening or flowing my truth up and out? What parts of me contract? That's good information for you again to take to a therapist or a body worker, or just sit in meditation and let the earth soften those parts of your body. Maybe you like to go to float tanks. I love that. And I just let the parts of my body that feel really contracted relax as I'm held by the warm water. There's so many ways for you to do that. Maybe you like acupuncture or even gentle exercise or yoga or qigong or whatever is your way of allowing this information to soften and open and feel. Again, it's important for you to feel safe enough to soften and open, because these contraction patterns came when you didn't feel safe enough to bring your embodied wisdom into the world, your embodied soulful expression into the world. So you want to be really gentle with yourself as you're practicing softening and opening. When you notice a part does not want to soften and open, you hang out with that for a very long time until it's ready to do it. You don't have to force yourself or your body into opening when it's not ready. There are some body patterns that I was made aware of when I first started my embodiment journey about 10 years ago. There were some the places in my body that my body workers would just point out really lovingly that I didn't feel safe to soften and open into until just this year. So 10 years of lovingly holding patterns in my awareness. And yes, they would soften and shift, and information would come and I would feel safer. But some of those patterns literally this year are starting to unwind and open in ways that 10 years ago I couldn't have imagined, allowing my body to open and soften and allow my truth to come into the world in greater confidence and embodied knowing and feeling safe and supported and connected to nature and breath and sunlight and all the things that are supporting me and you as we work or mm, surrender into these these truths of connection and expression of our truest self in the world. So thanks for being with me in this journey today. Um, totally not where I thought I was going with that, but it's where it wanted to go. So thank you, and I will be back. I hope you will be too.